Today I'm going to do the London Bridge walk. I'm going to start from the monument, Fish Hill Street exit of the monument station. And as you leave the station, if you turn to your right in front, you'll have the monument itself. So this is the London Bridge walk. We'll be crossing London Bridge over to Southwark, over to Shakespeare and Charles Dickens country, as one might say. So we'll go down to the monument now. The monument was designed by Robert Hooke and Sir Christopher Wren to commemorate the Great Fire of London. The Great Fire of London started on the 2nd of September in Pudding Lane in the Bakers. And what we're going to do, we're going to carry on straight down Fish Hill Street and in front is St Magnus. And that bridge there is the New London Bridge. Now what we're going to do, we're just going to cross over to Lower Thames Street and in front is St Magnus the Martyr. Now, as I said, this marks the spot of where the original bridge was. So we're going to cross over and into the church. Now I'm by St Magnus the Martyr, and the archway in front was the old archway which led pedestrians onto the old London Bridge. And St Magnus was one of the first churches to burn down on the Great Fire of London. Now from St Magnus, we're going to head towards London Bridge there and go on to London Bridge and cross to the south of the bridge. At the moment we're on the north side of London Bridge. Now I've just come up from there, from Lower Thames Street. I'll just give you a panoramic view of where I am. Now I'm standing beside Adelaide House, which was one of the first office blocks to be built in London. In fact, it was the tallest office block to be built back in the 1920s. Now what we're going to do, we're going to cross London Bridge in. Now this bridge was built in about 1968 and replaced the one which was built by John Rennie in 1831. But anyway, what we're going to do, we're just going to continue straight across. Now the building in front is the Fishmongers' Hall Livery Company. The number one livery company in London, the City of London, is the Mercers Company, and people like Dick Whittington and Thomas Gresham were members of Mercers. Out the in front is Adelaide House, as I said. Well, I'm standing beside Adelaide House and I'm looking down onto the Thames. Now a bit further down, if you go down the steps, you come to the old Billingsgate Fish Market. So I'll just give you a view. Now, I'm on the north side of the London Bridge, which was controlled by the City of London. Now what we're going to do, we're heading towards Borough Market, the south side. And back in the medieval times, it was like a no-go zone, anything went. Bird baiting, brothels, open brothels. In 1290, they did the first barred all brothels from the City of London, so they all crossed the bridge into Southwark. Anyway, we just continue straight in front. Okay, I'm approaching the south side of London Bridge, and over there on my right is the church, Southwark Cathedral. Now it didn't become a cathedral until about 1907, and beside it you've got Borough Market. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to continue straight in front along Borough High Street, and I'm going to turn off by not Tudor Street, St Thomas's Street. I'm going in towards Guy's Hospital. In front is Tower Bridge, and beside it, on the north bank, is the Tower of London. We've got City Hall and other buildings along. And that's where I've just come from. Let's give you a little view of where I am. If you carry on down this path, you come along or towards Hayes Galleria, City Hall and Tower Bridge. Okay, we won't be taking that path. As I said, we'll be continuing along Borough High Street, which is straight in front, and we return off by St Thomas's Street. So we just continue straight in front. As I said, on the other side of the road you've got Southwark Cathedral and Borough Market, but we'll be carrying on straight heading towards Guy's Hospital. In front is the Shard, designed by Renzo Piano, who's also the designer of the St Giles's Plaza. But all we do is just continue straight in front, underneath the railway bridge. Cross over the traffic lights, crossing Tudor Street, and just continue straight in front underneath the bridge.
Ir a casa, dejar trastos y movideros, ¿no? No, simplemente por saber cómo iba el sitio. Genial, pues nada.
Southwark Cathedral in front. Just giving you a little view of where I am. All we do is just continue over these lights here, and then we'll be turning to our left shortly into St Thomas's Street. We'll just continue. Okay, what do we do now? We turn, as I said, left here into St Thomas's Street, and we're heading towards Guy's Hospital. And in front is a plaque to John Keats, who trained as an apocrypher. And he stayed here during his training at Guy's Hospital, and he enjoyed himself around here because this area is notorious for prostitutes, as I said, and he caught a few venereal diseases here. But anyway, across the road, believe it or not, is the old operating theatre. It's in a museum. It's covered in tarpaulin at the moment, but you can go in there. They used to perform operations on women there. But what we're going to do, we're just going to carry on straight, and we'll be turning right in a minute into Guy's Hospital by the old chapel. And in front is the Shard. Just give you a little view of it. Tallest building in London. Architect Renzo Piano. But as I said, we just carry on, and we'll be turning right shortly. Now normally you are able to go straight through the gates into the old Guy's Hospital, which was named after Thomas Guy, who made good on the South Sea Company, sold at the right price and gave all his money to the hospital. Now as you can't get in through this entrance, what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue along, and then I'm going to take the next turn in on the right and see how we get on. Okay, so that's where I've just come from. So anyway, I'm just going to turn around the corner here, and then we'll turn right again and try and get back on track. Okay, we're just going to bear to our right here and try to get back on track. Okay, so what we're going to do, go up the steps and through the courtyard. And we'll be looking at the lunatic chair. I'll tell you more about it when you see it. Now it seems the reason why the gates were closed is that King's College is having an open day and have taken over the whole place. But anyway, as we're back on track, the in front is what they used to call the old lunatic chair. Now it was bought for 10 shillings or 10 guineas by Guy's Hospital and was built into the wall of the hospital. And at the time it was a lunatic asylum, and so they called it the lunatic chair. Now the chair itself originally was from London Bridge, at one of 14, the old London Bridge, the one that John Rennie built. Okay, from here we head back to where we came in. Okay, from here we just turn to our right and just continue in front. We're heading towards White Hart Yard. Okay, when you get to this point, it's only a few yards from. All you do is bear to your right, take a sharp right here. Right, now that's where I've just come from, and as I said, we're going to be turning right here. And we're heading towards White Hart Yard of the famous tavern. So what we do is go underneath the arch and then we'll be burned to our left. Now I'm underneath the arch, so what we do, we ignore the path in front, we bear to our left and just continue round. Now on this spot was the White Hart Inn, famous in two counts, one by Shakespeare in Henry VI, Act 2, when Jack Cady and his army attempted to overthrow Henry VI. He had his army based here. And on the other count was Charles Dickens in Pickwick Papers, when Mr. Pickwick met Sam Weller. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go on to Borough High Street and turn to our left. Now in front you've got the George Inn, the last surviving copper coaching inn. Now this inn goes back to maybe the 12th century, so we'll just pop inside. Now this is the last surviving old coaching inns. Now up till the mid-19th century, before the railways come along, all the yards along Borough High Street used to be teeming with coaches going to the south coast. Now there's one famous coachman, James Selby, who made a journey from London to Brighton and back in 7 hours 15 minutes. He's buried in Highgate Cemetery. Okay, we'll head back onto Borough High Street, turn to our left, and we'll be going towards the Tabard Inn, or where the Tabard Inn used to be. Well, I've just left the George Inn, and I'm beside Talbot Yard, where we're going to be going where the old Tabard Inn was. Right, I'm on Talbot Yard. And going back a few hundred years, quite a few hundred years, this was the site of the Tabard Inn, famous by Geoffrey Chaucer in his Canterbury Tales. Now this is the inn where 29 pilgrims set off for Canterbury in the Canterbury Tales. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to head back onto Borough High Street and we're going to turn to our left and carry along the High Street. Across the road is the War Memorial, and we just continue straight in front. So in front is 103 Borough High Street. Going back a few hundred years, it was the Queen's Head Inn, and it belonged to John Harvard's parents. But John Harvard was the man who started Harvard University in Massachusetts. He donated half his fortune and his books to the college. Anyway, what we're going to do, just give you a view of where I am. We're just going to continue straight along Borough High Street. We're heading towards St George the Martyr, or the Little Dorrit Church, Charles Dickens. In front is St George the Martyr, better known as Little Dorrit, named after Charles Dickens' book, Dorrit, Little Dorrit. Now in front is St George the Martyr, as I said, commonly known as Little Dorrit. And what we're going to do, we're going to take a slight detour to our left and we're going to head to a park where what is left of the old Marshalsea prison and the connection with Charles Dickens besides the church. Now what we do, we're going through the gates into St George's Gardens, the old cemetery of St George the Martyrs, to find or see the wall or what's left of the old Marshalsea prison. And I'll tell you the story about Charles Dickens and John Dickens' father, who was imprisoned at the Marshalsea Debtors' Prison. Okay, now this was the site of the old Marshalsea prison. Well, Charles Dickens' father, John, was imprisoned here as the debtors' prison in 1824, when in fact everyone lent him money, and it got to the point where no one would lend him any more money, and he was sent to prison here. And if it wasn't for the fact that his mother died, that's John Dickens, he would be still in the prison. Now at the time, Charles Dickens was working at Warren's boot blacking factory, making boot polish, and he would come up here to visit his father while he lodged at Lant Street. Now here I am in St George's Gardens, old churchyard, which is a cemetery. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back by Little Dorrit or St George the Martyrs Church, and then we're going to cross over by Southwark Place, or the Mint as it was called. Okay, across the road is the Borough underground station, quite a famous station, and across the road was once what they called Southwark Place, nicknamed the Mint. But back in the 17th, 18th, 19th century, it was a notorious rookery. And if you don't know what a rookery is, it's a place of villains, prostitutes, you name it. Not a very pleasant place. So what we're going to do, we're going to be crossing over here and continue in front along the Marshalsea, and then we'll be turning down by Red Cross Street. In front is St George the Martyr, better known as the Riverside. I've just come from there. I'll just give you a panoramic view of where I am. In front, as I said, is Borough underground station. But we're going to be turning around to my right into the Marshalsea. Now, this part, as I said, is called the Mint. And the reason why this area was called the Mint was that under Henry VIII, he set up his mint, or making money here. And Henry VIII was a great fellow for devaluing money. So this was all belonging to the Duke of Suffolk at the time. But as I said, we just continue round, and we're going to be turning round by Red Cross Street. We'll just continue straight in front. Okay, when you get to this point, as I said, we bear to our right along Red Cross Way. We turn right here. Just continue straight along Red Cross Way. Now Red Cross Gardens has the Red Cross cottages. Now, these cottages were built by Octavia Hill. She was involved in so many different causes, from the Common Land Preservation Society to building homes for the poor all over London, and these are some of her homes here. Anyway, I'm in okay, cross over Union Street and continue straight in front. Just give you a little view of where I am. Now here we are beside Crossbones Cemetery. Well, it's unconsecrated ground, and this is where they buried all the single women or prostitutes. Now, the ground was unconsecrated, as I said, and most of these girls worked for the Bishop of Winchester, and they were known as Winchester geese. Now the land is owned by TfL, and part of it was used for the Jubilee line. As I said, the ground here was unconsecrated. They started burying paupers here. Now the cemetery closed in 1853 due to overcrowding. But anyway, we just continue straight down and we'll be burned to our left shortly. Now at the end of Road Crossway, all we do is cross over Southwark Road, straight ahead. Okay, now that's where I've just come from. As I said, we just crossed over Southwark Road. Let's give you a view there. And we just continue straight in front, and then we're going to be burned to our left by the Take Courage sign on the side of the house. Okay, from here, as I said, we bear to our left on Park Street. Just continue round. We're heading towards the Oak and Anchor pub. Okay, now that's where I come from, Park Street, and as I said, here we are at the Old Anchor pub. We're back in the tourist area now. Now if you continue all the way around, you come to the Old Globe Theatre, or New Globe Theatre as one might say. But in front is the Anchor Public House. And what we're going to do, we're going to head round underneath the bridge, heading towards the old Winchester Palace, past the Golden Hind, Southwark Cathedral, Borough Market, and then finishing at London Bridge. So we just continue round under the bridge. Just continue straight in front. In front you have the Clint Prison Museum. It was actually a prison, and I understand it's called a visit. And outside you got a cage with a person inside. But anyway, we're going to continue on. We'll be passing the old road remains of Winchester Palace. And here we have, are said to be the remains of Winchester Palace. Now this part of London was controlled by the Bishops of Winchester, and they controlled most of the prostitutes, brothels, you name it, so they done quite well out of it. Anyway, we're going to continue straight towards Southwark Cathedral and past the Golden Hind.
Well, it seems like you need coffee shoes.
Well, I'm standing beside the Golden Hind, made famous by Francis Drake. Now this is not the original one if you think it is. Well, I've just passed the Golden Hind, and here we are in front of Southwark Cathedral. Now, as I said, it didn't become a cathedral till about 1907. It had a checkered history. Now, if you continue round, you come beside the Thames and then underneath London Bridge. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to continue straight forward, and we're going past Borough Market. Welcome to Borough Market. Now that's where I've just come from, down there by the cathedral. And that takes you over on Borough High Street. Well, I'm just going to give you a little panoramic view. Well, that's where I've just come from. I haven't gone into the market. That's a pleasure you'll have to take yourself. What I'm going to do, I'm going to head back to London Bridge, and this is the end of the walk, the London Bridge walk. I hope you enjoyed that, so we'll get to the station. So there's two ways. You can either go into Borough High Street here, turn to your left, and then head to the station itself, or you can go straight ahead here through the market. Well, I've just crossed over from the market. I'll just give you a little panoramic view where I am. Now at the end of the walk, that's London Bridge. And I'm heading down in front to the London Bridge Underground station. I hope you enjoyed the walk. Well, this is the end of the walk, as I said, London Bridge Underground station. But that's where I just come from up there. So I hope you enjoyed it.